What's good, y'all? Breaking news, Jeffery Simmons has been extended for 4 more years. Round of applause, Ran Carthon, Mike Vrabel, the Tennessee Titans front office for getting this done. There were worries about Big Jeff not returning. That is not the case. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Before I continue, I do want to acknowledge the fact that I am in a hotel room. I am currently in Orange Beach, Alabama on vacation, and I quite literally just got off of a jet ski. Please excuse the fresh windblown saltwater look, but I told you guys, if stuff happens, we're gonna make sure you know about it as soon as it happens. So I got off that jet ski, hurried up, got to my hotel, set this up. Interesting setup we've got here, but it works all the same, just enough so I can tell you guys that Big Jeff is not going anywhere. He has now signed with the Tennessee Titans for another 4 years. This is why you subscribe, because it doesn't matter where I am, who I'm with, what I'm doing, what time of day it is, what I look like. You're going to get the Titans news. Hit that sub button. We'll keep you updated on all the draft rumors, analysis, trade talks. We'll talk a little bit about some other trade talks in a little bit, but we're going to keep you updated on everything going on. So if you want to stay in the know and you want to know everything that Ran Carthon, Mike Vrabel have said that they're doing, what it looks like they're doing, we've got you covered. I'm going to get it out to you, but you got to hit that sub button. The more subscribers we get, the more content we can put out. Do yourself a favor, hit the sub button. Again, 4-year contract extension for Jeffery Simmons. We don't have a number quite yet, but all you need to know is that he's not going anywhere. This is good. This is a franchise player. This is a huge part of the defense that you really didn't want to see walk away. There were talks during the combine that Jeffery Simmons and the Titans were trying to negotiate a contract. It seems like they couldn't figure anything out. He did end up deleting all of his Titans pictures on his Instagram and unfollowing them, which this day and age is a negotiation tactic, I'd say. If you're not going to support me, then I'm not going to support you. I'm not afraid to walk, is essentially what that says. Don't worry. I guess it did work. It kind of did work because they paid him. He was headed into the final year of his rookie contract. He was scheduled to make $10.75 million in that 5th-year option. Again, extended for 4 more years. I cannot expand on this enough, how big this move is, because you have guys like Jeffery Simmons, like Kevin Byard, who we'll talk a little bit about that. You don't want to lose. They are such a big part of your franchise and your team that you really kind of have to figure out how to pay them. They did come to terms with Simmons. They figured it out. He agreed to a 4-year extension. The next step is figuring out how to keep Kevin Byard around. This defense is in an okay situation. They did sign some guys. Ran Carthon went out and grabbed Azeez Al-Shire, Arden Key, Luke Gifford, Sean Murphy-Bunting. Good moves being brought in. You're in a good place, but that's only if you're able to keep around guys like Jeffery Simmons and Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard, that name is still in the rumor mill. Why? Because there are still trade talks if they can't come to an agreement on the number. They did ask Kevin Byard to take a pay cut. He said no. This is where we stand. No man's land. Who's going to budge first? When it comes to guys like Simmons and Byard, you really have to prioritize paying them. And I understand there's a lot of things that need to be fixed on this roster, offense, defense, but these are priorities. And a lot of you guys had voiced that. I read the comments, shocker, head down and let me know what you think. But I saw that a lot of you guys were worried about Jeffery Simmons not coming back, about Kevin Byard, which we still don't know where that stands. He has not yet requested a trade, but that could be in the future if they don't figure it out. Jeffery Simmons, however, they have locked down, which is a huge, huge move. Again, this comes after a lot of trade buzz that kind of frightened a lot of people, because you can bring in a lot of good players that you think will elevate this defense. But if you allow one of your foundational franchise guys to go, you're essentially backtracking all the work that you just did. So locking down Simmons is a huge deal. He is probably a top 3 defensive tackle in the league. one of the best interior. I mean, again, I cannot continue to say this enough, that this was the right move to make sure that he stayed in Tennessee and didn't go elsewhere, because this is a guy you want on your defense. He is a big part of this defense. He's a big part of the franchise. You don't want to let him go. A few stats for y'all. He has totaled 189 tackles, 46 quarterback hits, 21 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 19 passes broken up in his 4 years in Tennessee. Safe to say, he's very good. To put it bluntly, he's very good. Once again, not a guy you want to let go. They were smart. They knew that. Ran Carthon is on the same page as all of us. You got to lock down Simmons. He did it. I think this signing, if I had to give it a grade, I'm giving it an A. And I'm not even being biased or lenient here. I'm giving it an A because it was a priority. It absolutely had to happen. This was a no-brainer. This was, before we even do any other crazy things that we're thinking about doing, let's lock down Big Jeff. They did it. I give it an A. Let me know what you think about the signing. Head down to the comment section and tell me if you love it, if you're glad Big Jeff is back. Give me an A. If you think they shouldn't have spent the money, shouldn't have extended him, should have went a different route, give it an F. Let me know in the comment section. Again, I do read those comments. I love reading the comments. So weigh in. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear back from you guys. I do want to touch on the Kevin Byard trade. Again, I said he has not requested a trade yet. That could change if they cannot get on the same page. Step 1, lock down Simmons. Check. Step 2, figure it out with Kevin Byard. These guys deserve to be paid for the production they are giving. 2 big guys, 2 big parts of your team. Pay them correctly. I know you've got a lot of other priorities. You're still looking for a receiver, which is a whole nother conversation on the fact that we haven't even addressed that in free agency. Not really going to get a vet anymore. Probably going to have to draft somebody. Maybe trade Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins. Anyway, long story short, your receiver room is in desperate need of much help. Your quarterback situation. What is happening with Ryan Tannehill? Is he going to be on the roster in September? Mike Vrabel said he didn't even know. Are they going to cut him after June 1st to save money? Possibly. You've got a lot of questions. Wide receivers, quarterback. Fix your defense. Keep the defense in good shape so that you don't add more questions. Because had you let Simmons walk, if you let Byard go somewhere else, you're digging yourself into a hole, kind of backtracking on the signings you made in free agency. Azeez Al-Shaair, Luke Gifford, Arden Key, Sean Murphy-Bunting. You are now bolstering this defense. It is getting to a good place. Thank God, because the pasty was horrendous last season. But again, you don't want to backtrack. Allowing Kevin Byard to go elsewhere would backtrack. He is the heart of the defense. Fan favorite, big leader on the team. Not to mention, he's a good player. Keep him around. You've locked down Simmons. Go figure out how to keep Byard in a Titans uniform. Other than that, I trust Ran Carthon. I'd say he hasn't made any of these big, sexy signings in free agency like a lot of people thought he would. Maybe he was just going to come in here and do some crazy things, completely change the outlook on this team. I think he's making some sleeper moves, some sneaky moves. You hear about the possibility of trading up in the draft, which, crazy, right? Not so much. This is the same guy that was in the front office that traded up for Trey Lance. Do the Titans trade up for that number 3 pick to go grab a quarterback or maybe even a receiver? More so a quarterback if you're trading up for 3. They were at the pro days of Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. It's said that C.J. Stroud is the number 1 guy on the draft board. C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young will probably be off the board even if the Titans trade up to 3. But they've been linked to Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. I think Ran Carthon is making moves that we don't know about. And he's doing it on purpose. I'm excited and a little bit curious to see what happens within the next 3 weeks leading up to the draft, specifically around Kevin Byard, if they decide to make a decision and come to terms before the draft, or if they wait till after. I'm excited to see what happens during the draft, and you guys should be excited too. And guess what? If you hit the sub button, you'll know all about it. Everything I know, you'll know. Even if I'm on a jet ski, get a notification on my phone, and have to speed off to get off and let you guys know what's going on, I'm gonna do it. Hit that sub button so that you can stay in the know on when we get Jeffery Simmons numbers, what the contract actually looks like. You'll know about it. If Kevin Byard and the Titans agree to figure it out, you'll know about it. Who they draft, you'll know about it. You'll know about everything, and we'll keep you entertained. I'm sure I'm very entertaining right now. As always, we appreciate y'all for watching. We will be back super soon.